Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Midweek Minis, the show where you get to ask us questions. I'm Mitch Lawrence, and that's my wife Leah Lawrence.
Hello.
And we are excited because we still have a whole bunch of questions. We didn't get any new ones this week though. And Leah's still very sick, like she was this weekend, so she's not going to tell a listener story. She's going to talk as little as possible, I believe. Is that is that accurate? Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, you're allowed to speak.
Well, I mean, you just, gave me a mandate. You don't talk this week, so I was like, okay, fine, I don't talk this week.
Well, no listener story, but I'll just do a quick anecdote from our lives. I lost my wedding ring this weekend. It was not my fault, I don't believe.
I think it was your fault.
Well, number one, it doesn't fit me very well. It'll stay on, but if it gets a little wet, I have to take it off every time I wash my hands, that sort of thing, because it'll just slide right off. But we have a storage shed at the house here, and it's got one of those flaps for a padlock. I'm not sure how to describe it exactly, but it's attached to the door, but it'll hinge back and forth. And I opened the door to go in the shed, and somehow my pinky finger on my left hand got caught in between that, and I cussed really loud. I screamed fuck in the backyard and flung my hand off of it. And when I did that, my ring flew off in the yard, and I have no idea where it is. So, we're out one wedding ring. Leah still has hers though. Maybe I'll just wear one of yours, because you have your engagement ring too.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Why not?
No. Well, A, they're too small for your fingers, and B, you might fucking throw one of those in the goddamn yard too. Yeah. I spent real good money on that shit. You just flung it like it was no big deal.
It's insured though.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't fling it. It was an accident.
Still kind of mad about it.
I mean, I'm upset too. I'm going to go look for it again tonight. I'm going to let the sun go down and take a flashlight out there. But I don't know where it is, so, yeah. Wedding ring's gone.
If anyone wants to ship us a metal detector,
yeah, that'd be very helpful.
Our P.O. box is
1743, Hartselle, Alabama, 35640. Let's get into some questions. Okay, this one's from Pip. Pip has submitted a lot of questions. It's been very helpful. What's the worst movie y'all ever sat through? So good it's bad doesn't count. So there's that. I don't imagine he means together. So yeah, but you can go ahead, Leah.
For me, it was Cloverfield, and not bad because it's a bad movie, but bad because I can't do shaky cam anything. It makes me vomit. And I was on a date with a guy that was very gay, and I at the time just was not focused on the fact that he was not into me at all, but anyway, beside the point. So I was trying to be impressive, just sitting through it, really liking horror movies like he did, and so it turns out that my motion sickness cannot handle Cloverfield whatsoever. And so about probably a third of the way through the movie, I get so nauseous that I puke in his lap, and that was fun.
Well, you shouldn't have been giving him head in the theater.
I wasn't.
It's just a gag reflex.
Nope, it was just motion sickness, and so I threw up on him, and that was fun.
Very gross. For me, I would say when I was in, I want to say middle school, I went to the theater with some friends and saw one of the Elektra movies.
Oh, those were terrible.
With Jennifer Garner, and I don't remember any of it, but it was really bad.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Which is sad because I really like Jennifer Garner, but those movies, bless.
Yeah.
Nope.
I don't know. I mean, I generally like just about everything I see, but I don't know. I didn't like the remake of The Wolfman with what's that guy's name? God, I can't think of him now. He's been in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's the Collector. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
I can't remember, but he was in it, I think, and I did not care for that one either. I thought it was bad, but apparently it was critically well received. I don't remember. I just remember hating it when I saw it. I did not think it was good. Well, we'll move on to the next one. How about that, Leah? You good with that?
Sounds good.
She's struggling over there, y'all.
Y'all, I've had the flu for 5 days now. I'm very tired.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is from Dalton G. If you had the choice to live in a space colony or an underwater colony, which would you choose?
Personally, I'm gonna go underwater because there's always the option to go up. You know what I mean? Like, it's less isolating than space is, and plus there's, water that you can synthesize into, if you're
resources.
Technologically advanced enough to have a colony under the ocean, you would think that there would be, you could make fresh water from the surrounding salt water. You could synthesize oxygen from the water around you, that kind of thing. So I feel like you've got more options underwater than you do in space. So I'd pick underwater colony.
I think I would too, because I don't like heights in general. I'm not like scared of heights, but flying is pretty tough for me. I've realized that. I didn't fly. Okay, so I flew somewhere when I was 12 a couple times, and then I didn't fly again until our honeymoon in 2016, and I had forgotten how unsettling that feeling is, especially if you don't do it all the time. It was rough. I'm not good with heights. I'm not good with flying. And
we're flying again in November, so, pray for us, y'all.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do part of this one because there's another question in the bag that I know is just its own question. So this is from Kelty. How did you obtain all your furry children? So the one we're going to wait on is Steve, because that's the cat. Because there's a separate question about Steve in general that I want to address at a later time. But our big dog, Samus, she's about 5 now. I got her from the Montgomery Humane Society in Montgomery, Alabama. $150, worst money I've ever spent. But she was a surprise present for Leah, and Leah did not want her. But now she's Leah's dog, so.
Yeah.
But she also weighs about 50 pounds now.
She's a sweetheart, but, she was an absolute bitch for the first year and a half of her life.
Yeah, she's a terrible puppy.
She bit everything. She ruined all of my nice things. She shat everywhere. It was awful. She was a really terrible puppy, but...
And I think, Dobby's barking in the other room right now. I think she's probably getting in the trash at this very moment.
Yeah, she's really bad about, getting shit out of the trash, and she's incredibly smart, and she knows what she's doing, but she does it anyway. So
yeah, she's very
kind
stubborn.
Of a bitch.
She's very stubborn. Very intelligent, though. Dobby, our small dog, he should weigh about 13 pounds, but he weighs about 17. He's an 8 at the vet on a scale of 9. When I started working where I am now, a lady sent out an email to the office that said, would anyone like this puppy? I've been taking care of it, but my dogs don't like it, and my neighbors were going to kill them. They had a litter of them, so they were just getting rid of them. So I was like, yeah, we'll take it. And we now have him. And we named him Dobby. Just because. There's really no reason. He's a sweetheart. He's my dog. He likes me way more. Both of our dogs love everyone. But they're definitely, they have favorites.
Yeah, Samus is my dog, and Dobby's is definitely a daddy's boy. So
one of my favorite stories to tell about Samus is she had I've told this story before, I think. She had an issue with her stomach, and she had to go to the vet for 2 days, stay overnight for 2 days. So we didn't see her at all in that time period. When we went to pick her up, it was one of those vet rooms, so there's doors on each side. So I'm sitting by the door on the right, and Leah's sitting by the door on the left. And they bring her in through the door on the right, and she hadn't seen either of us in 2 days. And it was like I didn't even exist. She came in right beside me, went all the way around me, and went right to Leah.
Yep.
Like I wasn't even there.
She's my baby.
Yep. But Dobby, I think, would do that to me. So
he probably
we haven't had to yet, thankfully.
I don't know. I'm not sure Dobby has the spatial reasoning skills to realize that there's something else other than the first thing he sees, though. Yeah. So
he's pretty stupid, but he's real cute.
He's a little dumb, but he's cute.
Yeah, he's very cute. He's my dog. And again, we're gonna save Steve for later. Oh, because there's a question pertaining just to him. And he deserves his own story. So this is from Kim S. If price was of no concern, what gifts would you give each other? Go ahead, Leah. What gift would you give me if price were no concern?
Paying off all of your debts.
Well, that'd be nice. I would really appreciate that.
And I would prefer that you do the same for me. Thank you.
Yeah, I like that because we'll go a little personal here. About a year ago, right when we started this podcast, I finally decided, I was like, look, I got to get my shit together because I've never even looked at my credit score. My credit score was below 500 a year ago last year. And I got a credit card with a very small limit and started paying off my student loans and stuff. And it's gone up to 700 now, just like that. But I still have, $35,000 in debt. And it would be awesome, Leah, if you would just do that.
Yeah, same.
Because then we can buy a boat on credit.
We don't need a fucking boat, A. But B, yeah, I have a lot of student loan debt, and that's not fun. And yeah, I would just pay that off for you because I love you very much.
Well, you're definitely more materialistic than me. So I would say for you, if money were no concern, which we could maybe afford it now anyway.
And excuse me, how am I more materialistic than you?
I'm about to explain. So we can maybe afford this now, but it would be a stretch. But I would take you to, is it St. Edward Island in Canada? Where's what is it? What's the name of the place?
Prince Edward Island.
Prince Edward Island. Yeah, I was close. We would go there and you could stay for a week. And maybe I'd just send you by yourself, actually. Because I don't really want to go.
You're fucking coming with me if we go to PEI.
I don't really want to go.
We're going and we're going to see the musicals, both of them.
Mm-hmm. What is the story that's associated with?
Anne of Green Gables.
Yeah.
And
I have no idea.
It's going to be gorgeous. And yes.
Well, I would let you go on that trip.
You would
with
come
or
with
without me. I don't know if
trip.
I'd go. I don't know. But that's it. I would let you go for a week or however long. If money were of no concern. I just really don't want to go. I mean, I'd like to go to Canada, but I don't really want to either. Okay, this one is how did you name your dogs? And I think there's a name there. What does this say? What does that say at the bottom?
Kelty.
Is that Kelty? That does not look like Kelty.
Well, it's because I missed the I, and it looks like Balto, but whatever.
I mean, since we've already talked about the dogs, we'll just quickly go through it. It does look like Balto, by the way. Kelty / Balto. Good luck. Samus was named because we wanted to do something nerdy, and we weren't sure what. And Leah thought about naming her Chell from the Portal video games. Mm-hmm. But that would have been okay. It would have been all right. But we came across Samus, and we were like, yeah, that's pretty good because she's white with a bunch of brown spots, like big brown spots and little freckle brown spots. And it just fits her, and she likes it, so.
Didn't Kevin recommend the name Samus?
He might have. One of my friends named his husky Zelda, so I don't know. We were discussing it, and he might have recommended it. I'm pretty
sure he's the one that first said that name, but
yeah.
Anyway.
And Dobby, just again, we wanted to go nerdy.
I was going to say, I wanted to name him something Harry Potter, and I was thinking about naming him Sirius, but his face is too, cute to be serious, so we picked Dobby instead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he has big eyes because he's a small dog, so his eyes take up a bunch of his head, so that helps. But yeah, just because nerdy, I mean, there really isn't a reason that we name them those things. We just wanted to be cutesy, And here's the one I was talking about. From Susan, how did Steve come into your life, and how did he get the name Steve? Well, Steve came into my life the summer of 2008. Okay? After my freshman year of college, I went back and took summer classes just to get some summer credits. And summer's great, by the way, for classes, in my opinion. At least it was at Birmingham Southern. And we're living in the fraternity house. One of my fraternity brother's girlfriends came in the house with a kitten. And she said, hey, a lady over in the administration building brought kittens today because her cat had kittens and they're old enough and she wants to get rid of them. So I walked over there and I grabbed, he was the last one, I think. And she was like, yeah, you can have him. So he was free and I took him back and he lived in the fraternity house for a year and a half. But how he got the name Steve is interesting. I had moved into the room of a just graduated senior who was the president. And one of his good friends who had also just graduated was still living in the house because he was working in Birmingham. I sent him a text, hey, I got a cat, because the guy who was living there, whose room I took, also had a cat that he named Nicholas after Nick Saban. Yeah, the cat's name was Nicholas.
All right.
So, by the way, we are not allowed to have pets in the frat houses. So there was that too. But I just sent him a text. All it said was, hey, man, I got a cat. And he said, can we name it Steve? And I was like, yeah, that was it. Because his name, the guy in the room's name was Steve. He was also supposed to be our pastor for our wedding, and it didn't work out. But, you know, he went to seminary school after that, and he wasn't able to come to our wedding because of a family thing. But after, we had to have like a counseling session before over Skype with him. And Leah didn't know at the time who he was, and I was like, you're about to meet Steve's namesake. She went, oh my God, that's why you named him Steve? And I was like, yeah, because of Steve from the fraternity. I'm not going to say his last name. That's not nice. But yeah, he's named after a former commander of the Sigma Nu fraternity at Birmingham Southern. Class of 2008.
Meow.
That's it. And Steve's in great shape, and, that's it.
He's a good cat.
He is. He's a sweetheart. Okay, how long do you think you would last in a horror movie? This is a generic question. Leah?
Okay, so it depends. So your three main things for, like, the Scream rules, so you can't have sex, A. You can't do drugs and alcohol, and 3, you can't say, I'll be right back. So, I probably, as a teenager, when such horror movies generally happen to people, I'm pretty sure I would have been good on everything but the I'll be right back thing. So I think in those situations, I would have made it pretty far in a horror movie, but, nowadays, probably not.
Well, I'm not even going to worry about the rules. I'm just going to say not long, because I don't feel like running anywhere.
Also a valid concern. If it's one of those, let's run away from something instead of you're right. Probably not very long.
Okay. For instance, I've had dreams in my life where I still remember these, where it's like a horror movie and I'm running from a killer and I fall. And when I fall, I realize how comfortable I am. And I go, I'm just not going to move. I swear to you, it is a nightmare that I'm having. And I fall down and go, oh, this is so comfy, I can't move. And I just lay there and wait to be murdered. That's probably what would happen in real life. Oh, this soft concrete, it's just, I don't want to fucking run. Yeah. Honestly, I'm just too lazy to be in a horror movie, I think.
Agreed.
Unless I was the killer, and then they'd all come to me anyway because they're teenagers. So, all right, here's another generic. What is the weirdest and most unexplainable thing that has ever happened to you? Leah, go ahead. Yeah, this one's kind of on the spot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's put this one back. We'll think about it more, and we'll do this one another week.
Okay. Because, there's a lot. And do you mean, paranormally, or just,
I don't mean shit. You're the one that wrote the question. All right. From Pip. Did you get in trouble for anything good in school? What does he mean by good?
Fuck yeah, I did. Oh, y'all. Okay. So, I have had a very high reading level since I was a very young child, because my parents read to me as a kid and just gave me whatever books I wanted. They encouraged me to read. I was a reader, right? And I had a high school level, grade level reading skill when I was, in elementary school. So I was reading things that, generally speaking, most people would not think that a child should be reading, but my parents were cool with it. We had my parents were always there if I had a question about something, if I didn't understand culturally what was going on in it, we would sit and talk about it. So my parents didn't have any kind of problem with just letting me read whatever I wanted to. Anyway, so I am in 6th grade in my English class, and I thought it was perfectly fine to bring the Grapes of Wrath. And apparently, according to my 6th grade English teacher, that was not appropriate for a 6th grader to be reading, and she took it away. And my dad had to come up to the school and get his copy of the Grapes of Wrath from the teacher and explain why he would be letting a child read something like that. And I've never seen that man more furious in my life. And he's kind of an angry dude anyway, so like it was not cute. So yeah, I got in trouble for having books that I should not have had in school. That was the one that got taken away. But that one, and she also was very iffy when I brought in Addie Prey, and yeah, anyway.
I don't know what that is.
The movie Paper Moon was based off of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Leah read too much.
Yes, Leah read too much was generally in school. Yep. Leah read way too much and in the wrong classes.
Oh, for me, I don't know. I mean, do we mean good as in like you shouldn't have gotten in trouble for it, or good as in juicy and fun, you know?
Oh, well, maybe that wasn't.
I don't know.
Maybe I interpreted the question wrong, but.
Well, I just don't know. I'll do two, because one is fucking hilarious, I think, and the other one is just me being an idiot. So I'll do the idiot one first. I had to go to school early in high school to make up a test or something, and we couldn't be in the building, but my teacher was supposed to be there in the building, and she wasn't, and she didn't show up till late. So I got in trouble because of her, but that's beside the point. The principal's secretary, like the main lady who you sign in with and stuff, no one liked her. She was just a cunt. Like, she was caught many times eating lunches of children whose parents had brought them lunch. Like, she would sit there and eat fries out of a bag and shit. Yeah.
That's funny.
Anyway, she came out and she said to me, "Hey, you can't be in here." And I said, "Yeah, but I'm waiting for the teacher. I have to make up a test." And she said, "It doesn't matter. You can wait outside." And I said, "No, I have, like, it's a test that she told me I have to make up right now." She said, "You have to be outside." I said, "Fine." And I started putting my bags up, and she went, "You have to be outside." And I said, "I'm going, Jesus Christ." And she wrote me up for cursing. She did. I got a conduct check for cursing. So that was me being an idiot by saying Jesus Christ. I guess that's a curse word. And
it is if you say it like that, Mitchell.
Yeah, well, fuck her. She never ate my fries, the cunt. So the other one was really funny, and we didn't get in trouble in school. We got in trouble with our baseball coach. We were in a math class with a teacher who was just oblivious. Like, one of my friends, quote unquote, hid her teacher's textbook by putting it on her bookshelf. And she didn't find it for 3 weeks. Like, we didn't have class for 3 weeks because she couldn't find it. That was Brandon, by the way.
Yeah, but I can see that.
We're sitting in class, and we had just somehow learned the theory of you can't turn your arm clockwise or counterclockwise and turn the foot on the same side the other direction. Like, you can, but it's extremely hard. Yeah. So it's me and the guy who hid the textbook and another guy who is 6'5". He went on to play professional baseball eventually, but we're all on the baseball team together. We're sitting there, like, trying it in and out of listening to the teacher, and we're not really being loud at all. We're just, like, you know, looking at each other and trying it. And he's sitting behind me, and Brandon is sitting next to me, and me and Brandon have turned around and are not looking anymore. And the 6'5" guy starts screaming in the middle of, like, nobody's talking in the class. He starts screaming. He's going, "Oh, oh!" And we look back and he's doing it. Like, he's got his foot going one way and his arm going the other way. And the teacher got so angry because he was just screaming in the middle. She goes, "Taylor," and called him out. And then all three of us got in trouble. So we had to go over to the Shakespeare Festival and run the amphitheater steps for like an hour. Oh, but that was great, though. I loved that one. I can still tell Brandon that story, Leah, and he will laugh as hard as I do at it, because we had stopped looking at him, and then he just screamed behind us. And he didn't say anything. He just went, "Oh, oh, oh!" He was so excited that he got it. Oh, I love going out on a high note. Oh, well, that's it for this one, y'all. Send in more questions that'll make us chuckle. Send in more questions that Leah doesn't have to talk for. And because she's sick. That's why.
I am very sick.
But we'll get a listener story next week when she can speak again. Right?
Knock on wood, hopefully. We'll see.
We'll see how it goes. But we had a great time this week, and we hope to see you for the main release on Sunday.
Bye, y'all.